Okay, one and all, welcome back to another video. You join me in a 2019 model year Mazda 2 skyactiv G 1.5 litre petrol, and as you can see, it's got paddles on the steering wheel. I don't know why Mazda decided to do it, but I'll get into that shortly. As you can see, this car does have shift paddles, and I think I mentioned that in the start of this video. I have no clue why they are here in a Mazda 2 with like 88 kilowatts, but now I'll take it. It is, I'm not complaining. Isn't it cool, I guess? So these paddle shifts are connected directly to going around to the powertrain and drivetrain now. A 6-speed automatic gearbox, so no CVTs here, even though Mazda is under the Toyota branch, which are bosses of CVT. I'm sorry about that. This view is beautiful. That's really gorgeous. Yeah, so 6-speed automatic gearbox, torque converter, 1.5 litre 4-cylinder petrol. And if you're looking at me and saying, why the hell are you reviewing this? Because it's a really good car, and they just put it out here. You can't see, but there are squidgy materials on the dash. There are squidgy materials on the dash here. Very Japanese feeling plastic on the dashboard, but that's not a bad thing considering this car's no Mercedes S-Class. And it's also not a bad looking car, unlike a lot of its competitors. Unlike many of its competitors, which aren't the prettiest things in the world. It's actually really good looking. It's actually really good looking. This car might just be the perfect first car for the person who just needs to commute from A to B in something quite comfortable, does not need a huge boot, just want something economical, and if you want something really sporty, you're missing the point. You see, if you want something sporty, you're just missing the point, really. Then might as well buy yourself an Enos Roadster MX-5 Miata if you're in America. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And this car, well, it's got a really good interior. Let me just shift it into fifth. A really nice looking exterior. This car in particular is finished in the classic Mazda Soul Red. I apologise for the picture being quite dirty. We've not had time to clean it. And yeah, cars, well, they get dirty. It's just nature. But if I had time to clean it, we more than happily would have done so. So I've gone over the powertrain. I'm going to go over it more in depth in a moment. But for now, I'm going to get onto the steering and what it's actually like. And these seats, which I have to say are really comfortable. The way this car takes bumps, well, it's on the biggest wheel options, which I believe are 16s, 17s. I think it's 16s and 17s. I'll put it right over here at the bottom of the screen. It's actually really comfortable. These seats are really nice. They're quite supportive for the power that this car has and the G's that this car can pull, which, trust me, it will outdo a Lamborghini event. Just kidding, I'm really sorry, I do apologise. Yeah, these seats are really comfortable, and I'm 5'4", 5'5", roundabout, somewhere there. I'm not a particularly big figure. And the steering, quite light. Sport mode doesn't change anything really that much, apart from if you leave it in automatic or just keep the res higher. I can do that through these pedals. And yeah, in this particular car, the throttle position sensor is out, but that's not really anything at all severe. Now, I'll say this car, for the price, it's really good, and it's sold in more or less every market. So if Soul Red suits you, consider it comes in all different colors and stuff, obviously being, well, and car. Okay, so now getting into the engine, more in-depth detail. So it's as I said, it's a 1.5 litre 4-cylinder, mounted transversely, so east-west, as some people know it. Being a skyactiv engine, it's a high compression setup, naturally aspirated, so not just engine standards for turbocharged naturally aspirated, but generally as a whole, for an engine it's really high compression. At 13:1 compression, or 13.0:1 as some people know it. That is really extremely high. I mean, our XC90 is boosted by a turbocharger and a supercharger, and that's considered a high compression car on a boosted setup, and that's running 10.3:1. This is yes or no, it's naturally aspirated, but still, it's a lot. 13:1, ooh, a 944. A 13:1 compression ratio is really, it's high. It's a really high compression ratio setup, and that means that there will be a more violent combustion within the combustion chamber, but that means there could be a chance of pre-ignition or knocking, as we know it. But Mazda have thought of that, demonstrated in this picture kindly provided by Mazda on their website. It's not the most powerful thing, and it might be a bit jerky off the start because of its camshaft profile. It's got a not aggressive camshaft profile, but to avoid knocking, Mazda have fitted it with really strong and aggressive springs and lifters to cope with potential knocking and to avoid it, which is really well done by Mazda, I have to say. But it makes a fair amount of power for what it is. Sure, it's not going to be beat making any drag races and stacking itself next to a Huracan or something along those lines, but I mean, that's really not the point. This car's not meant to be sporty. Yes, Mazda have a sporty prowess, but it's not meant to be any MX-5 or Unos. So it's a high compression, 1.5 litre 4-cylinder compression ratio, 13:1. I believe it to have an aluminium head and block, transversely mounted. You can get it with a 6-speed manual, and I think it's a 6-speed manual. That I'm not sure about, but I know this has got the 6-speed automatic, and it might be a rather ancient gearbox, but it might be a rather ancient gearbox, and a downshift here might need it. It might be a rather ancient gearbox, but it's not actually bad at all. I mean, it's not many people are going to be modifying these heavily.
Oh yeah, turn right.
Got it. Just gonna put a quick UE, a Commuter. I'd say this car's turning circle is actually really incredible. Like, this is not a particularly wide place to do a U-turn at all, and it's really exceptional. It's really, Mazda developed this car well. The reason why I'm using the paddles first is because I really want to, and second because, well, it works. Suspension, I'm not sure. I assume it's the solid axle at the back or torsion beam at the back, and maybe, which front and a torsion at the rear. Yeah, got it. Yeah, so pretty average engine. I say pretty average engine, it's an engineering marvel with a high compression setup. Just stick it into higher gear. And price, used you can look at these maybe around, with one with a fair share warranty, for around £8,000, £9,000, maybe a bit more if you're in the UK. Here it's going to be the direct equivalent because you're not in the greatest of economies. Yeah.
I'm going to go right if you can see the cars. Go.
Not in the greatest of economy about politics. I'm not going to talk about this in an automotive channel, I believe. Would be about £12,500, £12,000, but this car has like 50,000, 55, 60,000 k's in the clock, and fuel economy averaging. It's not that great with at least how I've been driving it, and I've not been driving it like a particular lunatic. Everything you've seen today is what I've been driving, and it's been averaging like 13 litres to 100 kilometers. I'll try to toggle that down for you now. 10.7 litres to 100 kilometers, my bad. Which ain't great. It ain't great, but I am using paddles and the throttle position sensor is out. Would I recommend this car? Yes, definitely. I'll definitely recommend this car, considering if you do autocross. Thumbs up from me. Automatic or manual. Sure, the automatic might be a bit difficult because you have to pull J-turns and stuff and straight. Mm-hmm. And sticking an automatic into neutral quickly, you need to have it put on the... It's not going to work in automatic that well in autocross, but if it's what you can get your hands on, it's not bad. And I think I've said the way this car glides over bumps, it's lovely. Boot space, it's loading area, it's got decent sized load lips, so that might be a bit challenging when you're going to get food and you have precious stuff like eggs and all of that good stuff that fuel you. You don't want to knock it on that. But overall it can probably fit 2 carry-on airport style suitcases, maybe 3. With that cargo cover in place. Without it you could probably fit 4 or 5. Which is actually decent. All the way you look at it, it's actually really decent. So I guess we could say I recommend this car if this is what you're looking at. I'm personally, when I get my first proper car, because right now I'm too much into mountain biking and there's still like a year bit left to wait, and with situations such as move, yeah, there's a lot of factors, but I would be looking at a V50. Ever since we sold Kevin, I've been missing Kevin quite badly, and every time I see a V50 I just look at it and I say, swear, that was a lacquer car. Or if you don't know what lacquer is, go look it up, it's Afrikaans slang.
I want you to pull over somewhere here.
And
just go for it. Okay, reverse braking, say driver.
got it.
Okay. That's that.
Piss. So I guess with that, on with the cinematic shots, I guess. On with the cinematic shots. Oh yeah, and if you enjoyed the video, please please do consider subscribing. And I'm sorry if I'm not on top of things today. Just yeah, bit stressful. I'm a bit of a busy person today. What way? Got a bit of a busy person, have a lot to focus on. So if I'm not on top of things, I do apologize. As always, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you got this far, comment I got this far, and I'll favorite and probably pin your comments. But thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, it really helps the channel out. I'll link both of my Instagram accounts in the description, and I'll see you guys next time.